Hey everyone, my name is Josh, and this is Wrestling in Review. Last night was Monday Night Raw. It kicked off with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in the ring, and they were saying that they conferred with their medical staff, and they said that the medical staff talked to Becky Lynch's doctors, said that she was okay to be released off suspension. So they called her out, she came out, and they apologized for what happened on SmackDown and also what happened the previous week on Raw. So, but they said that she was able to come back and be in the main event at WrestleMania. But they also said that she had to apologize. Now, Becky Lynch did not want to apologize. She hemmed and hawed over this and even ended up getting into the face of Stephanie McMahon. Triple H gave her a choice by the end of the night to either say you're sorry or you're out of your match at WrestleMania. Now, and that was it. That was the end of that. But I want to mention that since Becky and Stephanie got into the face of each other, I think they're going to have a match somewhere down the line. Next was a match between Sasha Banks and Bayley, Nia Jax, and Tamina and the Riot Squad. And the losers of this match will be the first people to start in the tag team match, Elimination Chamber match for the women's titles. Sasha and Bayley wouldn't tag in at first, which I thought was smart, but also they're supposed to be the conquering heroes, so they're supposed to be wanting to fight anybody anytime, right? So it kind of played against their personalities, but in all reality, it's really smart. Nia Jax and Tamina, they had most of the offense in this match. They were pretty much just destroying anybody who they were in the ring with. Sasha Banks was taken out by some of the members of the Riot Squad on the outside. Medical staff came down, and she was taken backstage, not to return for the rest of the match. She didn't come back at all, which left Bayley by herself, which was the same as last week. Bayley did the whole match by herself. So I'm now thinking that, yeah, they are going to start some type of feud or program between the two of them, and hopefully they do it right this time, because their matches in NXT were a thing of beauty. There was a stupid tag by the Riot Squad, I thought, because they were on the outside, and they're supposed to be heels, so this was okay for them. They were on the outside, and it was Nia Jax and Bayley on the inside, and they just tagged themselves in to go against Nia Jax. Why? Why wouldn't you just stay outside the ring, not get pinned, so you wouldn't have to be the first ones in the match? I don't get it. They're even heels, so they could have done that. Even though sometimes throughout this match they kind of played them off as faces. I don't know if they're turning them face or not, but maybe it's just because they were in the ring with Nia Jax and they want to make Nia Jax look like a really big heel. There's also another stupid tag by Bayley. The same thing, just in reverse. She tagged herself in to go against Nia Jax when she's on her own. Like, if you're on your own, I would have just stayed up there and let them fight. Why even bother tagging yourself back in? I mean, I know they're having a match, but in all of real life, if you were really wrestling, you wouldn't want to do that. So, Bayley ended up getting pinned by Nia Jax. So Sasha and Bayley will be the first ones in the Elimination Chamber match. It was an alright match. I give this match a 3 out of 5 stars. Next was an Elias segment. I thought it was funny because they had to keep on introducing Elias because he kept on getting interrupted. First, he was interrupted by a backstage segment with Becky Lynch, asking Finn Balor, what should she do, and getting his advice. And then he was interrupted by a video package of Seth Rollins, just like how he's been in the last 12 months and how good he's been. Then he got interrupted by the Lucha House Party, and this is where things started to go downhill. Because I'm sick of the Lucha House Party. They should just go back to 205 Live. I'm sure they're good wrestlers. I've seen Kalisto wrestle, and he's pulled off some pretty good things. But they're not doing anything with them. They're just having them pop in here and there, and it's just stupid. They came down to the ring. They said they wanted to walk with Elias, and so Elias gave him the chance to play. Gave Kalisto a chance to play his guitar, and Kalisto actually did a really good little riff. And then Elias hit Kalisto in the back with one of his guitars, and then got away with it, which I thought was pretty good. I liked that part, but overall, it was the whole segment was kind of stupid. And I felt bad for Elias. Hopefully, they'll end up doing something good with Elias soon. I'm assuming next week they're gonna have a match between Elias and Kalisto. Next was a match between Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre. Bobby Lashley came out before anybody else, and he was at ringside for this. Apparently, at Elimination Chamber match, there's going to be this weird match. It's going to be a handicap match. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. That's his name, yeah, Lio Rush. And it's for the Intercontinental title. Now, I'm happy to see Finn Balor get a match. Now, but I feel like they just put Lio Rush in this match just so he can get the pinfall, and so Bobby Lashley wouldn't take the pin. Now, I get you want to make Bobby Lashley look strong, but you also want to make Finn look strong. When what's better than making Finn pin the actual champion for the title? But anyway, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush were distractions on the outside like a few times during this match, and one of them actually caused a DQ finish. So it wasn't really long of a match. It was just like in and out. But then when Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre were attacking Finn, Kurt Angle came out to make the save. And then Braun Strowman came out to make the save again. And this was so predictable because you knew what was going to happen next. You knew it was going to be a 6-man tag. So yeah, they came back from commercial. And guess what? It was a 6-man tag. Now, I kind of got disinterested in this match just because, I didn't want a 6-man tag. I wanted just Finn Balor to beat Drew McIntyre. Or even though I kind of like Drew McIntyre too, so I wouldn't have minded seeing him win. I just wanted to see that one-on-one match. I felt this match was too long. I felt that it took a long time. It felt forever for Finn Balor to get that hot tag. There was also a moment where Bobby Lashley got the pin on Finn, but Finn's foot was on the rope, and the ref didn't see it, and that was the match. But then another referee came out and said, "Nope, this is what happened." So they restarted the match. I got a little bit back into this match by this time because they were just making Finn Balor look good. He was doing everything. He was flipping over the ropes. He was attacking everybody. He was in and out of the ring. They were just making him look really good. He then eventually got taken down, and he ended up getting a hot tag to Braun. Braun came in and destroyed House. Put down Bobby Lashley, and then tagged Finn back in, and Finn was able to hit the coup de grace on Bobby Lashley and pin him 1, 2, 3. Now, I kind of wish this match stopped at when Finn got pinned and his foot was on the rope, because that would have kind of looked like maybe Finn's going to win at an Elimination Chamber match. But since Finn pinned Bobby Lashley here, I find it highly unlikely that he's going to be able to get the victory at the Elimination Chamber match, because usually when you win the Raw before, the SmackDown before the pay-per-view, you lose that pay-per-view. Now hopefully this is part of their big changes that they're doing, and this is just trying to throw you off. Hopefully that's what this is. We then had an update on Kevin Owens, which was quite nice. He did like a little phone video from bowling alley where he was with his family, and he said that he's going to be back within a month. I found it funny because Kevin Owens went up to bowl and he's got a ball. Just boom, just couldn't even get hit one pin. Next was a match between Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. Now, this wasn't too bad of a match. It didn't last very long, which was kind of upsetting. It was quite fast-paced. Ruby Riott's hair, either her extensions were just getting pulled out or they were falling out, but there was hair all over the ring. They ended the match with a Riott kick. I think that's what it's called. A Riott kick, I think. And Ruby Riott got the pinfall. I just gave this match 1.5 stars. Next was Seth Rollins' segment. He came out, he looked back on the last 12 months, see how things went, saying he's done some amazing things, bragging about himself basically. He started talking about last week and how he took 6 F5s. He was then interrupted by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was basically saying that it's a suicide mission to go against Brock Lesnar. He's not going to win at all. Seth Rollins then went on to say that WWE and WWE Raw is being held hostage by Brock Lesnar, and so is the Universal title, which I thought was a good line. I really liked that line. Seth Rollins said that he will burn in hell to win the Universal title at WrestleMania, which I liked that line. I thought it was pretty good. The whole thing was up from here. And then Dean Ambrose came out, which I thought was kind of weird because he's supposed to be a heel. He came out and showed support to Seth Rollins. Now, I just didn't get this. Maybe if they do something later, like maybe they're turning him back to face, so somewhere down the line it might change. But right now, I just didn't like this because they're supposed to hate each other, and he just good luck basically. It went to commercial, and Dean Ambrose had a match with EC3 again. EC3 had most of the offense in this match. It wasn't a very long match, but EC3 did have most of the offense. But Dean Ambrose was able to roll him up for the pin. It kind of felt like a very flat match. That you could tell at least what it sounded like, the audience in the arena was not into this match at all. There was no noise at all, and I just felt like meh, whatever. Because usually the crowd's not into it, and you're not into it. It's not like, I'm sure it was an okay match. Like, it wasn't like a horrible match. It was one of those matches where you can be like, okay, now I gotta go use the washroom. I gave this match again 1.5 stars. It wasn't a very good night for matches on Raw, like length, and not just length, but because there was a few long matches, but just in the way of just having good spots and stuff. There was only a few good spots here on Raw tonight, or last night I should say. If I didn't see it before, I gave that match 1.5 star as well. Now, coming up next was my match of the night, and I gave it a full 5 stars, just because I loved the Revival. It wasn't like a spectacular match. It wasn't like, oh my god. But when I get to it, I'll tell you why. It was quite confusing, because although it was a very compelling match, but they made the Revival look kind of weak, because they would reverse when they needed to, but they spent a lot of the time on the defense. They didn't get very many moves in, which I thought was weird, and it kind of confused me. I was like, how do I like this when they're losing? But then they would hit 1 move or 2 moves, but then go back on defense. It wasn't that bad. Even I was chanting along the crowd when they were saying this is awesome, which was kind of weird because I was kind of mixed. There was a lot of close calls. Oh, I have to mention that blind tag that Revival did. instead of slapping the back, they actually put their hand back and slapped hands, which was really good. And my favorite part of the night, the Revival wins the tag team titles from Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I didn't mention that, did I? Yeah, this match was for the tag team title. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the new tag team champions on Raw are the Revival, and I couldn't be more happier. I gave this match 5 stars. Next was the main event spot for the night, and this was the Becky Lynch apology segment. Becky Lynch came out. The Authority came out. Well, I shouldn't say the Authority because they're Triple H and Stephanie McMahon came out. The Authority. I like it because Becky Lynch is kind of hemming and hawing over saying sorry, and Triple H told her to shut out the crowd and our opinions don't matter. This is kind of funny. He's trying to play the heel, which it works. It works. Becky did eventually say that she was sorry, and so the match was made at WrestleMania. It was Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. She was then interrupted by Ronda Rousey, who came out to the ring. And before anything could happen, Vince McMahon came out. Now, Vince McMahon did suspend Becky Lynch for another 60 days because that he doesn't accept her apology. He made that Triple H and Stephanie made, but he doesn't. And that he was going to replace Becky in the match with Charlotte Flair. Now, I know this is just a way to set up the triple threat match at WrestleMania, and hopefully Becky wins that match. They had to get Charlotte into that match. I don't know why they just couldn't leave it be. I'm a little disappointed in this because I thought maybe WWE will listen and just leave Charlotte out of it. There's nothing bad about Charlotte. Charlotte is the face of their women's division. I'll give them that. She is very good. She's probably the best women's wrestler they have. But she didn't need to be in this match. She could have fought Asuka and had a rematch for the women's title at WrestleMania. I would have enjoyed that very, very much. But no, Becky Lynch has been suspended, and Charlotte Flair is in the match. Like I said, this is probably just a way to set up the triple threat match for WrestleMania. So yeah, this has been Monday Night Raw. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night, and I'll see you for SmackDown. Bye-bye.